Hello, thank you for joining me today again on the Church History Trail, and we're continuing here in KELLS and Connor, and you can just see over the bridge here at the wee stream, the river, and I'll just show you the other side. As you can see, but where we are actually is we're at St Saviour's Church in KELLS, which is the parish church, and I'm sure you will agree when you look at the church here, it's like going back in history. It's actually like stepping back in time. And the foundation stone of this church was laid in 1811, and it was built over the foundation stones of the earlier cathedral church, which had been burnt in the Irish Wars of the 1640s. And a wee inscription up above the door of the church, which I will show you, says 1813, so I would assume that's when the building was completed. Now, the ruins of the cathedral were not rebuilt. Instead, the southern transept was re-roofed with thatch, and it was used as the parish church. And it's a fantastic setting here. It's absolutely beautiful. There you can see it's the Diocese of Connor, St Saviour's Parish Church, Connor. And so it's right on the boundary here between the villages of Connor and KELLS. So absolutely fantastic. And just before we go up to the church, I want to show you these gates here, which are of interest. And before I do, I'm going to read a wee plaque out to you. And it says here, these gates were donated by the UDR, that's the Ulster Defence Regiment, and the RIR, which is the Royal Irish Regiment, Colours and Window Committee, to mark the 40 years that St Saviour's Parish Church has been associated with the regiments, 1970 to 2010. And so these are the gates here then, as you can see, and there's the badge of the two regiments. So there you go. You don't normally see gates like that. Definitely very unique. And there was actually a famous visitor here, and that visitor was actually Jonathan Swift, because Jonathan Swift was here on the 20th of April 1695. Now, of course, Jonathan was Dean of St Patrick's Cathedral down in Dublin, but he's best known for his Gulliver's Travels. If you remember, it was Jonathan Swift who wrote Gulliver's Travels, and I can remember me and my friend Jim, when we were doing a bit of history in England, in Banbury, we stayed in a hotel, and it was like, my goodness, it was like going back in time. It was brilliant. But you could also actually rent the room where Jonathan Swift actually stayed. Of course we didn't, but the hotel itself was fantastic. Yes, it had all the modern cons, but the building itself and inside the building, a lot of it was like stepping back in history. It was absolutely fantastic. And so Jonathan Swift then was here. So he was in 1695. Now, what this here is called a corpse house. And the grounds of the churchyard contain this corpse house. And the reason being is it was used in the 1800s for the safekeeping of bodies for burial in the winter months, whenever the ground was maybe too hard to dig. And so that's what this is actually. It's a corpse house, believe it or believe it not. And there you can see a mock coffin, sorry, in it. There you go. Not very big, but then I suppose it didn't need to be very big. You definitely would have only got maybe one coffin in there, unless they stacked them, I don't know. But there you are. That's what that is. It's a 19th century corpse house where they kept the corpses in safekeeping for burial. And so you can see the side of the church there. And most of the graves here are from the 19th century. And I think I found one, if I remember rightly. I'll have to check it again. I think it was actually from the 18th century, about 1750, but I will have to check that one again. You can see the modern graveyard there beside it. That's a fantastic window, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. It definitely reminds me of Lutterworth Church, John Wycliffe's church here in England. It would give you the, it's very much like it with the old gravestones and stuff. It was fantastic. Of course, John Wycliffe was in the 14th century, and he was a reformer before the Reformation. And I'll hopefully show you some of the gravestones in another wee video. That's the tower of the church. And you can see it castellated at the top there. I'm going to show you this grave, but this monument. Now, I'm not sure if this was a colonel or where this was part of his name, but you just can't make the rest of the name out. But it's to the Johnson family, and it's the bottom part that I want to show you. It says there, sacred to the memory. Now I think that's colonel, unless this has worn away. But I think that's maybe Colonel Johnson, as you can see. So unless this part's worn away, this is Colonel. You can definitely make that out plain. Colonel Johnson. And it says, who died in the West Indies. And instead of an A, it's an A. Indies. And it's the 1st of March 18, I think that's 17. 1817. The one seems to be worn away, but I think that's 17 there. He was aged 43, as you can see there. And I can't really make the rest out. But there you are. He died in the West Indies. And certainly it is a tremendous memorial. As I'm sure you will agree, to the Johnson family. And there's that inscription that I said I would show you. 1813. But the foundation was laid in 1811, so I would assume that's when the building was completed. So if there's somebody from the parish here, or somebody that knows the history of the parish here, am I right in saying that? Was it 1811 that the foundation stone was laid and then the church was finished in 1813? If Canon Peter's watching this from Castle Caulfield, he'll be able to tell me that, because he knows a lot. He knows a lot of history about the parish, the church, the Anglican church. There's no doubt about it. So if you're listening, Peter, am I right in saying that? You can let me know. You give me good information on the parish church there at Charlemont, which I didn't know actually who it belonged to, but it actually did belong to the Church of Ireland. So thanks if you're watching, Peter, for that information. It was a fantastic piece of information that you give me. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to have a wee look around the graves here and see if there's any of interest, and if there is, then hopefully I will do a wee bit of recording for you. Again, if you enjoy the channel, please like and subscribe. Again, I'll leave you with the wee building there, which is the corpse house. If you enjoy the channel, please like and subscribe. Again, if you hit the notification bell, then you will be notified every time that I upload a video. Thanks for watching. God bless.